Let's get it. How's everybody doing this evening? I thought I would just throw this out there that I think that the government and all the people that own our government want us fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them. And I'd love for anybody to try to come on here and prove me wrong. Anybody. I would like anybody to tell me I should not believe what I see with my own eyes. You have to be relatively stupid to believe that they don't want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them. But why the fuck do you think that everybody's being led around on this little fucking horse and pony show? Like, we are pitted against each other in every possible way. They tell us in every possible way we should hate each other, all of us. Like, and not only hate each other, but it is getting to the point now where they're telling you that if you don't like somebody, they don't deserve to live. That's basically what they're trying to froth the American people into believing. They're trying to get us to believe that we should hate each other, that we should not accept the existence of other people if they voted differently than us, if they love people differently than us, if they have a different skin tone than us. They are trying to convince us that we hate each other. They are trying to convince us that we hate each other as groups of people, not as individuals, as groups of people. And they are convincing an inordinate amount of people, because we do have an inordinate amount of stupid fucking people in the United States and around the world. The problem is you guys don't know you're fucking stupid, and you are being told to hate another person to the point where you will celebrate their motherfucking death for their words. Like, you are being frenzied into this shit, right? Like, I say the same thing, and believe it or not, I will say the same thing about this stuff. When we are to the stage where we want to see other Americans fail, they have divided us. They make us argue over every little thing, and it is easier to just argue over the internet and to make sure that they can keep us occupied than have us focus on them. It does not matter what you vote. It does not matter who you love. It does not matter what your skin color is, your ethnicity is, or anything like that. They want you to hate other people for not believing or being like you. And it is just disgusting. Somebody just said in the comment section, united we stand. United we stand, divided we fall has been like the motto of the United States forever. As a newsflash, we are not united anymore. And that is on purpose, motherfuckers. Because us divided, not focused on making sure the government does their motherfucking job, is the entire goal of the fucking government, of mainstream media, of Hollywood. And if you cannot possibly convince me that you don't think that these entities act in coercion with each other. But you have to be stupid to believe that. You realize that. You have to be relatively dumb to believe that the government, who does fund movies, by the way, the mainstream media, who is funded almost entirely by pharma, big industry, big food, they run our fucking world. We have the illusion of fucking freedom. That is it. Just the illusion right now. That is it. And this has been this way for a long time. George Carlin will tell you that. I mean, it is insane for me to believe that after the last 5 or 6 years that we have had, that you people can't get there faster. And I know that this is not like, this is one of the reasons why people don't watch that much, I think, because like, I'm going to tell you, we need to get our fucking shit together. They are making, I can't believe there are people out there that give a shit about what other people do with their sexual parts as long as everybody is fucking of age. Like, why the fuck do you guys care? Like, is that something that you want to, like, wow, the government, and we've never been sicker. The government is taking more of our money than ever. And, more people are dying than ever before of strange causes and shit like that. And they took a good stab at our freedom about 6 years ago. Like, you don't think we got other fucking shit to worry about? Like, everybody's fat. They have fattened up the pigs to, like, they're dependent. We have 42 or 45 million people that are dependent upon the government in some way for food. They have us. They have us. They want you fat, because if you are fat, you can then claim, and this is no shit, disability. There are many people, millions of people that are on disability benefits for being fat. Look it the fuck up. There are millions of people who are on disability benefits. I will say it again, and SNAP, and like you name it. They're on the government dime, and their disability is being fat. And there's a huge swath more whose disability would not be nearly as much of a disability if they weren't fat. But we don't do anything about it. It's not even talked about at mainstream media. Instead, mainstream media, the only time they talk about obesity is that you should never judge anybody for being obese, ever, 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 because that makes you a horrible person, even though nature tells us that fat doesn't do well. Like, do you know what happens to fat lions? They get fucking eaten. Like, it is not health. And the mainstream media tells you it's healthy. At the same time, they sell you a drug that makes you shit yourself and possibly go blind, so you can lose 10% of your body mass over the course of 4 years as an average. Those are everywhere. We're supposed to believe that the government still gives a shit, even with who's in office, because while I voted for who's in office, I'm going to tell you this: as long as pharmaceutical commercials are on television, they own everything. They own everything. They own the narrative. And now that 51% of all internet traffic is bots, are you going to guess who owns those bots? Not we the people, not us. No. The bots are to control the narrative also. Like, get there faster. They want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them. And here's the thing. For those of us that don't take money from the government, right? They still got us because they have so many other people, 45 million people that were, many of whom were just doing a no kings celebration, and then all of a sudden now are begging the king for fucking money. I mean, let's see here. Let's see what someone we got here. I don't mind people being on Snap if they're using it as a hand up, not a handout. If you give the government the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Exactly. If you give the government the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. This is also the same for many other aspects. I have talked about this for years. Please go check it out. But I've honestly said many times, if we have 60% of the population that is on a pharmaceutical drug, at least one every single day that they need, 60% of the population is on a drug that if they would just stop it, it might not work out very, very well. They could have other problems. 60%. So you don't think that the pharmaceutical companies own us already? What would happen if they just shut that shit off? Imagine what would happen if the pharmaceutical industry would just shut off SSRIs. They would just shut it off. Like, a lot of those, you should not just, you should have to wean yourself off of, or there's going to be lots of fucking problems. What happens if they would just like decide not to send any more fucking, medicate, like diabetes medication, because we have so many type 2 diabetics. Like, and I know that we can source it other places, but they could squeeze you, and our government could squeeze the fuck out of you with it. Our government is showing you right now that they can squeeze the fuck out of people. Our government, left, right, two wings on the same flight right there. No shit. You guys got to fucking get there. Right? I mean, we can fucking, they can turn off people's food. Right? They proved in 2020 that they can shut off your freedom. Like, that was the problem with 2020. That is how I like, they had already fattened us. Like, a new code, when you tell a bunch of scared people who deep down know that they're sickly because they eat like they're fucking children with a fucking credit card, because there's Krispy Kreme fucking donut places in every goddamn place in America in some way or fashion, something like it. And those motherfuckers are always busy. Like, we don't take this shit seriously. They allow us to fatten as a population. They say, hey, there's this new bad cold going around. It could be very bad if you have immunocompromisations. And I just told you that 60% of the fucking population is on at least one medication. So 60% of the population is well aware of their non-ability to be healthy. So 60% of the population all of a sudden tucks tail and starts immediately shaming at the guidance of the actual media. The actual fucking media, our politicians, everybody, like, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. You could kill your grandma if you don't wear a mask. I mean, it's like they were openly shaming the other fucking 40% of the population, possibly, because don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some sickly people that were completely against all that bullshit because they saw through it and saw that it was just a government play for power. But most of these fucking people were terrified, either for themselves or for somebody that they knew, because everybody knows somebody that's fat as fuck in this country. So I will take any comers, anybody that can tell me how I should not believe that the government wants you fat, sick, weak, and dependent. Prove me wrong. Like, tell me what should I believe? Should I believe the validity of, the medical industry and how wholesome and never lying to the public they've been? The people that told you to fucking smoke cigarettes, knowing that it was fucking bad for you. The people that took a bribe to say that red meat was bad for you. Yeah, that medical community, that medical industrial complex, right? Yeah, those people. You should absolutely believe them. Yeah, the people that are actually, get richer the sicker you get. I mean, we live in idiocracy. Like the actual movie Idiocracy is now. People just don't fucking realize it. Like, because you got to be like, the population needs to be this dumb. Like, you can't see how just in those couple things, like 60% of the population is on a daily medication. There is a statistic that like 92 or 93% of the population is metabolically unhealthy. That's fucking insane. You realize how insane that is? They have you. The sicker you are, they have you. That's why they want you fat, because if you're fat, you're unhealthy. Deal with it. Sick, weak, and dependent. Because if they get you fat, they can get you sick. They can make you fucking weak, and that makes you fucking dependent. And they fatten you with the fucking food industry that our government subsidizes with our money. Our government gives the sugar industry like $5 billion a year in subsidies. The sugar industry that's kind of owned internationally, like globally. There's not like the American sugar industry. And so money of ours like is put towards, sugar and corn so they can fatten us up. Like our tax dollars subsidize those industries. They don't really subsidize the local farmers. They don't really subsidize the local beef raisers. They don't subsidize that shit. But huge factory farms, they'll subsidize that shit with our money on food that will then get us fucking sick. So the food industry's got it because FDA will, Food and Drug Administration, I'm sure they're completely trustworthy, and all the food that they're putting on our plates are completely healthy. Yeah. The FDA, completely trustworthy. The people that have to rescind, like they have to take back the approval of about 25% of the medications that they put out because they end up being too dangerous. That organization, the organization that is literally funded by pharma, like the drug approval department of the FDA has historically been something like 70% funded by pharma. And I know many people are going to be like, oh, well, things are different now. I haven't checked, but I bet you not that much. I bet you there's still like some interjection there. There's the committee literally that just kind of made it so that 70% of the population is obese now because they're using waist measure in there also. I told you so, by the way, always. But they think about 70% of the population is obese. You know why? So they can give more Ozempic and Wegovy, because the people that decided this are the board that decide this have all worked for Novo Nordisk. All of them. They're playing in your faces. Like they want you absolutely sick and weak and dependent. And there's people saying like, let's get to some of these. The greatest nation in the world is now the most sickly and weak brainwashed third world place. Listen, let me tell you something. People bring this up all the time. They say, we're the wealthiest nation in the world. We are $37 trillion in debt, bitches. 37 fucking trillion dollars in debt and borrowing more every day. That's not strong. 60% of our population is on a daily medication to keep them alive. That is not strong. That is not strong at all. 45 million people in our population are dependent upon everybody else for the majority of their food, housing, healthcare, those sorts of things, completely. That's not strong. That is not. We are not a strong nation. You have to get there faster because time is running out for all of us. Like, at some point in time, it'll be past the tipping point. Like, how do you people think, what do you think this is going to happen here if we keep getting fatter and less healthy and all these things? Like, how can we possibly think that we're going to, like, you don't think it's going to get worse? Like, how are we there? Like, how do you think it's going to get worse? People are going to start dying at record rates coming up. And I'm not talking about the jab, although I do think that will have something to do with it. But just how fat people are, just how little people give a shit about their health. People are going to start dying at massive rates within the next 5-10 years. Massive. The average age of Americans is going to fucking plummet. Because do you think the person that's been 300 pounds the entirety of their life, just about, is going to live into their 50s? Like, do you think somebody do you think some of these children that have been over 200 pounds since they were like 12 or 13 years old, who now weigh over 300 pounds, do you think they're going to live a long time? Do you think they're going to live into their 80s? Are you out of your mind? Like, this is not sustainable. Like, go to Walmart, go to any grocery store, because everybody's fat. That's another thing too, that a lot of people, it's so skewed that a lot of people don't equate obesity with what obesity actually is, because they are so used to seeing super morbid obesity. They are so used to seeing just super morbidly obese. And they even still see even worse than that. They see like deathly fat. Like, I'm talking, if you are a 400 fucking plus pound woman, you are deathly fat. You are not even super morbidly obese. You are deathly fat. You do not have the bone structure, no matter how fucking tall you are, to be 400 fucking pounds. And we have 400 pound plus women a lot. 300 plus pound women, you're not going to live a long time. Like, you're just not. And I don't say that to be mean. Like, that is actually one of the kinder things that can be said. Like, let them know, like, you're not going to live a long time. What the fuck? Like, we're not there as people anymore. Like, somehow, like, you saying a truth to somebody is a problem, because that's what they want also. They want to literally illegalize telling fat people to lose weight. They want to illegalize words. We are still at that stage. Like, I know everybody was really happy that the pendulum swung back to the right, but, you know, every swing, the pendulum can go left and it can go right, but the whole platform moves forward towards them owning us. Because now we're just getting, you know, First Amendment violation laws based around not being able to say certain words about Jews. I mean, that's insane. It's control. And they can control us, because 60% of the population is on a daily medication. 45 million people are on fucking SNAP benefits, and about 93% of the population is not metabolically healthy. The average woman in 2018 had a waist to height ratio of 0.60 in 2018. That is obese. The average woman by waist to height ratio in 2018. And by the way, before any of you freak, waist to height ratio is actually much more telling than even BMI. And BMI is actually pretty accurate on a population level. Whenever anybody says BMI is garbage, they look like a fucking complete idiot, because it's goddamn math, you stupid fucks. And math that correlates to other math. And for those of you that will all of a sudden then say, because your masters have told you not to fucking realize this, that, well, that's correlation doesn't mean causation. If you take out correlation because it doesn't mean causation, you have just wrecked most of medical fucking science and all of psychiatry. So you have just, if your thing is correlation does not mean causation, then you've wrecked half of the drug industry and all of psychology. All of it. Because it's all fucking, you know, correlation and causation. All of it. And it's wild to me that people don't see that too. They keep you guys arguing about the fucking data. How about this? The data everybody knows. Everybody knows that somebody that got fucked up by the jab. Very few people know people that died of COVID. You know why? Because the people that mostly died of COVID weren't that fucking social. Do you know why? Because their average age was over the age of life expectancy at the time. The average age for the person that died of COVID was fucking 80 years old. Do you know what that means? That means that they were statistically likely to live longer with COVID around. And I know it's just a fucking play in math, but that means that they died over the age of life expectancy. So therefore, what the fuck were we freaking out about? Even though they were including people that, and this is factual also, you can look this up, even though that they were including people that were in car accidents, if they were suspected of having COVID, if they were suspected of being around somebody that had COVID and they died, they put it on their death certificate. Look it the fuck up. They want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them. And that was when they first told you. They closed gyms. You weren't allowed to jog in California. You know that? You weren't allowed to jog, but you could have liquor delivered to your place. You'd get arrested for jogging alone on the beach in California, but you could have Popeyes delivered 5 times a day. If your employer tried to fire you for not showing up to work, they would take something out on the employer. They literally have the entire population just about thinking that all of this is goddamn normal. Like, wake up. They own us. They own the fuck out of us. They own everything we fucking do. They are flexing right now, showing 45 million Americans and every diehard person for them that they can flex on them and take their fucking food away. They can starve them. There are people worried about how they're going to feed their families. I feel bad for some of these people, even though they're fucking abusing the system, and we need to radically, get rid of the system. What the fuck are churches for, right? Why are churches tax exempt? Why aren't they fucking stepping in? Oh, because nobody's making them, because nobody gives a fuck. Like, you're tax exempt for a fucking reason, churches. Do your fucking thing. All of you. I don't give a fuck what the denomination is. They should be taking care of people. But the fact that we've even allowed the fact that for people to be on there 45 million, and there's also a humongous number of them apparently that are illegals. That makes me want to motherfucking vomit. But it should be expected. It should be, because they want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them. Right? So does everybody realize that having an extra having an extra like 20 some million people in the United States is doing to prices of everything? Like, that alone, get all these motherfuckers the fuck out. If we were really the United States still, by the way, if we were really the United States, anybody that let people in through the border would be facing treason charges right now. If we were really the United States, the federal government's, one of their 3 main jobs is to literally protect our border. The president of the United States and his administration saying, no, doors are open, come on in. That's fucking treason. And we should have done something about it right fucking then, we the people. We should have done something about it when we found out that they use taxpayer dollars to censor people on social media platforms. Because that's, again, fucking tyranny. Like, wake the fuck up. It's wild. Like, you weren't allowed to say that COVID was just a cold. If you talk down, like, many of you don't even realize this probably, because many of you were so pro fucking turning in your neighbor for not wearing a mask, and how dare they? You saw him touch his wife on her ass and shit like that. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's so fucked up how many of you were just fucking tyrannical. Because that's another big thing too. Another thing you got to realize, they got 45 million people right now. And here's another way how they got us. They got 45 million people right now that are on Snap. These people are learning right now that the government can fucking turn off their entire goddamn lives. They're learning it. They're being taught a lesson. They're being told to be very, very, very fucking compliant. Right? Very fucking compliant. They're being told to be very fucking compliant. And then they're also being told that the government whoever it is in charge of their lifestyle. That's the biggest thing in America right now. Oh, and then one more time. Now, they have the crazies who will go along with any type of government propaganda. Like if they could. This is another thing I don't think people on the left realize. I'm not even on the right necessarily. I am more a centrist because I believe they're both corrupt as fuck and our government's completely unsavable because the corruption just goes too deep. We can even get into that too. But let's be real. There was tons of people just saying the government said that you should stay away from other people and you could be killing grandma and it's the most deadly thing ever. If we don't stand 6 feet apart, we just might fucking die. There's a lot of you stupid fucking people that bought that shit. A lot of you. There's a lot of you really stupid people that didn't realize that it was all bullshit. And I'm sorry, like if you still believe it right now, oh my God, like I feel so bad for you, but you're also dumb as fuck. Like if you still believe the COVID bullshit, I feel so bad for your parents. Like you because they got to be embarrassed at how stupid you are. That's how I fucking see it. And I can debate anybody about this too. Because even the whole when it was the first case of it in January. No, motherfuckers, that shit was flying around for like probably since early October. Like in 2019, it was already here. Like in 2019, it was already here. Reality exists. It's been here 6 years because there's blood samples from people that donated blood on December 13th that have antibodies for COVID of 2019. So, and it was like 108 out of 7,000 had these antibodies from 5 different fucking states. So it was thousands of miles apart. So they didn't catch it all from the same person. They caught it from different people themselves. So that means that antibodies, sickness to sickness again to infect the other person, to sickness before that because they're thousands of miles apart. You know, it takes about 3 weeks each rotation. Guess what? Now we're into fucking mid-October of 2019. So that also means, by the way, that the entire first wave of the deadliest pathogen ever, the entire first wave went by completely unfucking noticed. But remember in 2019 when everybody had a really bad cold? Yeah. It's sad to me. Like I wish people could get there much faster. But and I hope I eventually get somebody that will come on here and try, you know. I work out at a veterans home right now. They're making us wear, that's ridiculous, which haven't been fit tested. Oh my God, it's fucking goddamn so fucking stupid. Jesus, it's so dumb. That's just like making sure you get carbon dioxide more. I was naive enough to trust the government. I'm now jaded and don't trust them. Good for you. Good for you for waking up. So, and this is another thing too, right? So even the people that caught COVID, you still had to stay in lockdown because they couldn't tell, right? Like they took our choice of risk away from us. Because by the way, like I don't care if it's 10 times as deadly. COVID could have been like killed a 98% ratio. The government still does not have the motherfucking right to tell you you're not allowed to go out of your house. You don't like. That's not how freedom and liberty works. Freedom and liberty means reality. They don't have the ability to go against the Constitution, and they are our government by our consent. And that's another thing everybody needs to remember. They don't teach the Constitution. They don't teach the Declaration of Independence. They don't even want to teach you as history, and that's what makes us all look racist. Which, by the way, is also a stupid fucking thing. It was like 1% of the fucking population or 1.4% of the fucking population that owned slaves. And guess what, motherfuckers? A lot of people died to free the fucking slaves. So that's another thing. They got us fighting over that shit. It wasn't us. The majority of us probably have ancestors that helped save your ancestors if your ancestors were actually slaves. But no, they got to fucking make everybody think it's this fucking thing. You know, I come from a time like I'm Generation X person. This shit was fucking solved. Who the fuck do you think made Boy George and George Michaels and fucking Elton John and Queen popular? Like, if there was a problem with gayness, if there was a problem with color, if there was a problem with nationality, like, don't get me wrong, there were still racist people, and guess what? There's still racist people now, and guess what? There's always going to be racist people. You know why? Because there's always going to be stupid people. The problem is, you don't need to be so fucking stupid that you think just because there are some racist people that every person's fucking racist of a fucking certain race, which is racist in of itself. That's how stupid most of our population has gotten to be, and literally how they want us arguing about that stupid ass fucking shit. They just want you arguing over that stupid ass fucking shit. They got people, they got American citizens threatening the lives of people because they do not do enough for fucking Gaza. Most of these same people support an organization that, if they're members of this organization, the LGBTY 456, forever community, if you guys would go over there, I don't suggest it because I'll throw you off a fucking building. Because they don't like gay people. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't want, that doesn't mean you shouldn't want people not to die, but to think that that is more important than your own fucking country is a little crazy. I'm just saying it's a little crazy. Giving more of a shit about people that would rather you dead. That's a little nuts. But that's another thing too. Has anybody, and this could be my last thing, how they want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent upon them, and everybody can prove me wrong. Tell me why we're still giving out SSRIs like they're fucking chitlets, and tell me how a doctor, a general practitioner, is qualified to dish out antidepressants. Did they go to psychiatry school? No. Did they go to psychology school? No. They have a prescription pad and they can write SSRIs for mental health. Think about that, and think about the industry that lets that happen, and then tell me if it's about your health. Please. Anybody. These people treat diabetes. They're not taught anything about nutrition. Diabetes is mostly avoidable or reversible. Type 2 is mostly avoidable or reversible with lifestyle. They don't even teach doctors lifestyle. Doctors are not qualified to be teaching or to be treating metabolic disorder, frankly, because they only treat symptoms. They don't treat the root cause because they're not even taught it. I mean, it's not because it's against her. They're not taught it. And they're not taught about hormonal health for men or women either. Like they don't talk about TRT. Why? And it's not the doctor's fault either. It's the fact that it's been this way forever, for at least 100 years, when Rockefeller basically bought the medical industry so he could, control it because that's what rich people do. So I hope everybody can understand. I really just want everybody to try to get healthy, try to get prepared. Because if you can't tell that they're flexing on us, I'm sorry, but they're flexing on us. Like that, since 2020, it's gotten much, much, much tighter anytime you turn around, right? So just remember, everybody. Well, I've completely revised my diabetes by losing 286 pounds. I actually revised all my medical problems with lifestyle. Exactly. Do you think dentists overprescribe or overchange, probably overcharge? I'm not that sure. To be honest, because I haven't had that experience, but I can tell you that a lot of the chemistry of what goes into toothpaste and stuff like that, just try to get the most natural shit you can, if possible. But dentists and stuff, here's why I think that it's the allopathic healthcare industry has its place, right? Like if you break off a tooth, a dentist is a great thing. If you have a root canal, a dentist is a great thing. All those things, like dental work is normally some sort of very acute thing. It's not a chronic thing normally, right? So that's how the medical industry is supposed to work more, is for dentists especially, there's not that much chronic problem unless there's chronic gum disease, which is also treatable by lifestyle and a lot of times. But, the thing is, dentistry is more immediate, you know? Yeah, hang on a second. I see one dentist gets sued because she's charged a certain party more than other parties, i.e., why ask all those nonsense on the forums. Yeah, I got it. I mean, but when it comes to just like the industry, I think they overprescribe. I don't know like prescription wise what they would be giving out. They shouldn't be giving anything out that's chronic, because that's not what they're there for. But that's the thing, that if I break my arm, I'm going to go to the doctor, right? Because that's what they're taught on. If you have type 2 diabetes, don't even visit a dietitian, because dietitian's curriculum is the same, is written by literally Nestle's. Nestle's, Big Pharma, takes a huge portion of the input on dietitian school also. It's just reality, Right. I understand that. Listen, folks, I see it's getting to be about 7:00. I am going to be off. I'll start doing more of these. I had fun. I really wish somebody would have come on and try to prove me wrong. But I hope everybody has a great evening. My name is Alan Roberts. Goddamn.